You may have spoken to a dog and noticed a quiet head tilt, as if the dog is trying to place your words somewhere it can understand. A common assumption is that the head tilt means the dog is confused, or that it is simply a cute habit with no purpose. That assumption can miss what is actually happening, because the head tilt is often a practical behavior linked to attention, hearing, and how dogs read human signals. What is the dog trying to detect in that moment? Is it about sound, or about seeing your face more clearly? And why do some dogs tilt their heads more than others? A clear explanation comes from combining sensory biology with learned behavior. The first misconception is that head tilting is a direct sign of understanding words. Dogs can learn many word-like cues, but the head tilt is not proof that the dog is decoding language the way humans do. Instead, it is more accurately a sign that the dog is focusing and collecting information. When dogs tilt their heads, they may be adjusting how sound reaches their ears. Dogs locate sounds by comparing tiny differences in timing and loudness between the left and right ear. Changing head position can slightly change those differences, which can help the brain refine where a sound is coming from and what it contains. Human speech is rich in subtle cues. Even when a dog does not understand the sentence, it can detect patterns in pitch, rhythm, and emphasis. Many dog-directed cues are also higher in pitch and more sing-song than adult-to-adult speech, which can draw attention. A head tilt may help the dog sharpen the sound picture, especially if the environment is noisy or if the dog is listening for a familiar cue embedded in a longer stream of speech, like walk, treat, or a person's name. Vision likely plays a role too. Dogs often watch human faces closely, not because they read words, but because faces provide signals. Mouth movement, eye direction, and expressions that have been associated with outcomes. For some dogs, the shape of the muzzle can partially block the lower part of a person's face when the dog looks straight ahead. Tilting the head can change the line of sight, giving a clearer view of the mouth and eyes. This can be especially relevant during speech, because mouth movement is a strong visual cue that something meaningful is happening. Learning and reinforcement also matter. When a dog tilts its head, humans often respond with attention, a gentle voice, or a reward-like interaction. Over time, the dog can learn that this posture is followed by positive outcomes. That does not make the tilt fake. It means the behavior can become more frequent because it works socially. In many animals, behaviors that improve social feedback tend to repeat, even if they began as a functional sensory adjustment. Differences between dogs are expected. Individual anatomy influences hearing and vision. Ear shape affects how sound is collected. Breed differences in head and muzzle shape affect sightlines. Age and hearing ability also matter. A dog with reduced hearing may tilt more often as a way to compensate and sample sound from a different angle. On the other hand, a dog that is relaxed and not especially attentive may tilt less. There are important exceptions. A persistent head tilt that happens even without interaction, especially if paired with imbalance, unusual eye movement, or stumbling, can be a sign of a medical problem, such as an inner ear issue. The everyday, listening tilt is usually brief and context-dependent, appearing when the dog is engaged and then disappearing. In simple terms, dogs often tilt their heads because it can help them gather information, both through sound and sight, and because it can become a socially reinforced signal of attention. This matters because it encourages a more respectful interpretation. The dog is not performing emotion for effect, but actively sampling the environment and responding to a communication moment. If there are other everyday animal behaviors you want explained carefully, you can suggest them.